The American social landscape has changed profoundly in the last 10 or 15 years, and I think that's a key part, a key ingredient in the reaction to the Arizona legislation. If you take places like the Midwest or the Southeast, that historically have been very stable in terms of their ethnic characteristics. In the Midwest, it's been a very homogeneous region. In the Southeast, not homogeneous, but stable. And so all of a sudden in these communities, you've got Mexican restaurants opening up, you've got people who are speaking in Spanish and their children going to schools, you've got churches that are offering services in Spanish. And so people who live in these areas become very aware of the demographic shifts that have taken place. And since communities really are kind of psychological organizers, they help structure identity, they help ground us in our sense of who we are. So because of that, when you have major shifts in cultural settings or in communities, it does affect people's sense of themselves, and in many cases, or at least in some cases, it can become very threatening and anxiety-provoking. People feel like they're losing something that has been known and familiar and that has helped ground their own identities. And so sometimes that may mean that it's okay if immigrants are coming into California and Texas, but if they're coming into Nebraska, then people feel it more personally, more immediately, and so on. So I think that's a big element in the national response to the Arizona situation, because it's not really only Arizona. I think the fact is that Arizona becomes sort of symbolic for a broader debate and a broader experience that this country is struggling with, and change is always stressful, anxiety-provoking, and a complicated social process. And so I think that's why the Arizona legislation has stirred such interest and such engagement on a national level.